Shalom, this is Levi Shore. Welcome back to Sweet and Good Torah. We're going to learn today Parsha Savo, and we're going to learn something about the Mitzvah Bikurim that's going to teach us something very special. So even though the Jewish people have been very blessed, even in our exile, so we see all around the world, Jews in North America, South America, Europe, Australia, for hundreds of years now, we've been allowed to go to the universities, the colleges, and the Jewish people have been blessed by Hashem our God, and we prospered in many of the professions. And so Jewish people have achieved a lot of material wealth and, at least secular knowledge. And then for the Torah world, right, we've had the freedom, to still learn the Torah and to practice, and to follow the mitzvahs of the Torah. And then for the millions of Jews that are living in Eretz Yisrael, we've had the great blessing to live, in the Eretz Kedusha, the Holy Land, the holiest place in the world, even to go to Yerushalayim, to go to the holy city of Jerusalem. So even in this exile, we've been very blessed. But when we learn about the mitzvah Bikurim, we see that right now it pales in comparison to the immense wealth the Jewish people are going to be given in the days of Yemot HaMashiach, in the days of the Messiah, of Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David, and the spiritual greatness that we are going to achieve. It makes it seem so small, what we have now. Like even where we think some of us have great wealth right now, it's small in comparison. And when we think we have some chachman wisdom in the Torah, it's so small in comparison to what's coming in the future. And we can't appreciate yet to have the blessing that every Jewish family is going to have this vast estate. The land of Israel is going to expand and be divided up by, between all the Jewish families. And each Jewish family is going to have this vast estate in the holiest land in the world. And we're going to see the agriculture just enthused with the kedusha and the tahara, the spiritual energy, this pure spiritual energy of goodness and holiness, and the crops are going to be renowned again all around the world, like they were in the ancient days, and people are going to, just even for the physical, experience of the land of Israel. People are going to rush from all over the world just to taste the exquisite, the wheat and the barley, the exquisite bakeries that will exist in the future. And to just taste the wine made from the grapes of Eretz Yisrael and taste the figs and the dates and the date honey and the pomegranates. And then the clear, spiritually elevated olive oil, which give us such a beautiful light again in the menorah, in the Beis HaMikdash. And we will get to come at least 3 times a year. It's a mitzvah to come 3 times a year to Jerusalem. And when it's Pesach, when it's Passover, we're going to come to the temple and we're going to see the Kohanim, we're going to see the Kohen Gadol doing the avoda, in the temple and offering korbanos to Hashem. And we'll see the Shekinah, we'll see the physical presence of Hashem in this world, this infinite being, this physical presence in the Kodesh HaKadoshim and the Holy of the Holies. So we're going to take a look at the Chumash today. We're going to take a look at the Mitzvah Bikurim. We're going to see like the greatness of what we're going to experience in the future. B'ezrat Hashem, it's going to be very soon. All right, let me bring it up here and we'll start going through it. Let's get rid of the ad. Okay, so it begins and it says, "V'haya ki Savo el haaretz." When you come into the land, Asher Hashem Elokecha nosein lecha, that Hashem your God has given to you, Nachala v'rishta, and it's going to be an inheritance. It's going to be a permanent inheritance now. V'shavta ba, and you're going to live there. And it says, "V'lekachta mereshis kol pri hadama," and you're going to take from the first fruit of your land. And I want you to think about this. We really barely own any land in America, even in America, the richest, empire in the history of the world. So even in America, if you're maybe very, very wealthy, millionaire, billionaire, you can own some acres, maybe hundreds of acres. But every Jewish family is going to own this vast portion of land, and people are going to have crops, fields of all different kinds of foods, fruits and vegetables, and vineyards and animals, and just vast wealth, even in the physical world that we don't appreciate right now. Asher tavi me artzecha, that's coming from your land. Asher Hashem Elokecha nosein lach. That Hashem gave us, when Hashem finally gives us permanently the land of Israel as our inheritance. V'samta v'tena, and you're going to put it in a basket. V'chalakta el hamakom, and you're going to go to the place. Asher yivkar Hashem, that Hashem Elokecha, Hashem your God chose, l'shakein shemo sham, that He's going to establish His name there. That the world will know that there's only one infinite being, and then Hashem's made this special, this Beis HaMikdash, this house of holiness, this house that makes holiness, the temple in Jerusalem. And Hashem will establish His name for all the world. And there won't be any more of this illusion that there's all these, other divine powers, or that people could be gods. There won't be these illusions anymore. And the whole world will see that we're all created by this one infinite being, and that we're all more connected than we are divided. Uvasa el Kohen, and you'll go to the Kohen, Asher Yihiyeh Bayamim Ahem, that will be in those days. V'yamarta elav, and you'll say to him, Hi gati hayom l'Hashem Elokecha, that I am saying this today to Hashem, your God, Ki vaisi el haaretz, that I came to the land, I entered the land, Asher nishba Hashem lavoseinu l'seis lanu, that Hashem swore to our fathers. Hashem took an oath, He took a shavua, He made a covenant, He made a bris bein habasarim with Avraham Avinu, with Abraham, and with Yitzhak, with Isaac, and with Yaakov, and with Jacob. That Hashem's going to give this, there's going to be a time where Hashem's going to give us this land. And those who wish to harm us, and those who wish to attack us, they're going to be driven out from the land. And we're going to live in peace. We're going to have true shalom, not this constant warfare, not the constant terrorist attacks. We're going to have vast estates of wealth, but actually live in shalom, actually live in peace. And that's so important to really enjoy it. And the Kohen's going to take the basket from your hand. And he's going to wave it. And I think he waves it just the way we wave the lulav in all 6 directions. And before the altar, before the Mizbeach of Hashem your God. And then you're going to say this. You're going to answer, and you're going to say this before Hashem your God. Arami oved avi. An Aramean, he tried to destroy us. He tried to completely uproot us. He tried to destroy the whole Jewish people. What does that mean? So Lavan, who was the father of Rachel and Leah, who was the father of Rachel and Leah, he was ready to kill even his daughters and his grandchildren and Yaakov and Jacob because of his just greed, for wealth. And he was willing to kill them all to stop them from becoming the Jewish people. But Hashem saved us. So right at the beginning, right when we were becoming the 12 tribes, Hashem saved us from Lavan. And then, Vayered Mitzrayma. And then we went down to Egypt, Vayagar Sham, and we lived there. Bimse Ma'at. And we were just a small little people. We were very few in number. Vayihi Sham Lagoy Gadol Atzum Ravav. But He made us into a great nation and expanded our population. And this is to always remind us, no matter how crazy it seems here in the exile. And right now, Hashem's starting to really shake up the exile, and it's seeming crazy. And the anti-Semites are rising up from all directions in all the countries. And there's this intense war that's being fought on so many sides in Eretz Yisrael, in the land of Israel. I mean, Iran is orchestrating attacks from Hamas, from Hezbollah. Fatah, the PLO, is attacking in Judea and Samaria, the so-called West Bank. The Houthis are sending ballistic missiles now over from Yemen. And then there's the Syrians, and Iran's in Syria, and they're getting assistance from Russia. And it seems, we're overwhelmed, and it doesn't seem like there's many people, even many world leaders, even supporting us. But this is to remind us that even if we're few in number, and we always have been for all history so far, Hashem's always protecting us. We went down to Egypt when we were protected, even when we were small, and we became a great nation. And right now, it seems like we're being attacked from all sides around the world, and we're very spread out. But it's to remind us that Hashem's always protecting us. V'yara'u osanu hamitzrim, and they oppress us. And we've unfortunately seen through thousands of years of our exiles, we've been persecuted, and killed and massacred, but ultimately we're still here. Hashem's protected us. V'yanunu v'yitnu aleinu avoda kasha. We were enslaved in Egypt. V'nitzak el Hashem Elokei Avosenu. And this is our key. This is our key of ending this long Roman exile of 2024 years, that we can always v'nitzak el Hashem. We can cry out to Hashem, and it can be on a personal level. It can be on a personal level if we just need health, if we need shalom bias, just more peace in our marriage, if we need to find a shidduch, a bashert, if we need to find our soulmate, if we're having trouble, if we're struggling financially, whatever, if we're having trouble in school, we're having trouble teaching in school, we're having trouble raising our kids, or we're trying to fill our kids with good values, good mitos, good character traits, and sometimes it's difficult, but Hashem's always there to help, and it's always just a prayer away, just a little prayer, a little cry out, even tears. And it says, the Torah teaches us that nothing, all the gates of Shemayim, all the gates of Tefillah, all the gates of prayer are always open with tears. If Hashem sees our tears, if he hears our cries, immediately Hashem answers. And it says, then v'yishma Hashem es kolenu. Hashem heard our voice. V'yara etz anyenu. And he saw our pain, he saw our, oppression. Ve'es amalenu, ve'es lakatzenu. He saw our misery and our oppression and all the things we were going through. And we're going through them now. And it's just a prayer away. And better days, amazing days, days beyond our comprehension are just a prayer away right now. And to finally see the rescue of the hostages in Gaza, to see the end of our attackers. The Yotzienu Hashem Mitzrayim. Hashem took us out from Egypt, b'yad chazak, with a strong hand, with miracles, with ruah natuya, and an outstretched arm, umora gadol u'osos umosim, in a miraculous way of the 10 plagues, the Eser Makos, Hashem took us out of Egypt, and it's a sign for all the generations that in the future, the end of this final exile, it's also going to be in a miraculous way. And not only will there be just 10 plagues on Egypt, this time it will be on the whole world. Anyone trying to stop the Jewish people from coming close to Hashem again, from coming back to the land of Israel, we will see again miracles bigger than what we saw in Egypt. Vayavi Einu El Hamakom Hazeh. We came to this place. He brought us to this place, meaning Jerusalem, the Temple Mount, Mount Zion, the Harabayas. Vayitain Lano Es Haaretz Hazos. And he gave us this land. And what land is this? It's an Eretz Zavas, Chalav Udavash. So even in the physical abundance, the land will be fully blessed. It will be the most fertile, richest land in all the world. But in the spiritual, in the ruchnius, nothing can compare to it. And the wisdom that a person can acquire in Israel, and especially Jerusalem, no other place in the world can compare. Ve'ata hine havesi es reishis pri hadama. And I am now, you say, I'm bringing my first fruits of the land, asher nasatali, Hashem, that Hashem gave me. And you will leave it before Hashem, your God. And then we bow down before Hashem. And this is so important. And this is such an important lesson for us, that sometimes we're given great good. We're blessed. We're given brachas from Hashem. We're given the tov, and it's hard. It's hard sometimes in the tough times, but it's so important in the good times when we have them. We're given a wife to marry, when we're given children, when we're given a big raise. We get something very good happening in our life. We want to thank the source of where that good's coming from, because we want the good to continue. And we want to thank Hashem for all the good, and we want to be happy in the good. We don't want to not appreciate the good when it comes. Ulaveisecha ata v'halevi v'hager asher b'kirbecha. And then all the good that Hashem gave to you, to your house, to you, and then to the Levi, you give Meiser, you give 10% of the money that Hashem's giving you to the Meiser, and the Ger, and you help the convert who left everything behind, left his or her family and friends and a life that they knew. And it's so scary to come into a strange environment. And we have a mitzvah to love the ger and to take care of the Levium and the Kohanim and the Gerim. Ki sechale laser es kol meiser tebuasecha. And you set aside a meiser, a tenth of your produce or your grain, b'shana hashalishis, shana ha-meiser. And in the third year, we do a special meiser. Ha-meiser nesata le'levi le'ger li'yasam li'almana. And we want to take this meiser, take this 10% of our money, and we give it to the Levium, who, in the times of Beis HaMikdash, when we have a temple, they don't have a salary. Like, they're supported by the meiser, the rest of the Jewish people. We want to make sure the Gerim, the people that gave up everything to join us. We want to make sure they're taken care of. The orphan, the yasom, the orphan who has no parents to protect them in this world. We want to make sure they're especially taken care of. And the almana who no longer has a husband to help her. We want to make sure she's doing okay and she's supported. Va'aklu bisharaka v'saveyu. And then you're going to eat in your gates, and you're find great satisfaction. And then v'amarta lifnei Hashem Elokecha v'arti kodesh min habayis, that I cleared out everything from my house that now is past its time that has to be burned. V'gam nesati leLevi v'leger liyasom la'almana. And then also that I've given to the Levi, the Meiser, I gave to the Ger, given to the Yasom, I given to the orphan and the Almana and the widow. B'kol mitzvah secha, this is what I've been commanded. This is the mitzvah. Asher sivisani, that Hashem commanded, I was commanded. Lo avarti me mitzvah secha, I have not transgressed your mitzvah, velo shekati, and I haven't forgotten. And it's beautiful. And it just teaches us, and it shows us some of the greatness. And it shows us so much of what we don't have right now. I mean, it's so easy and so comfortable, in this gullah sometime, in this exile, and we forget how much better it can be. And that we're kind of ruled over by the other nations right now. And we're not this independent nation. And we're not all, unfortunately, the Jewish people, a lot of us, have been separated. We've been in public schools, we haven't had the time to learn the Torah, and we've forgotten our greatness. And I think there's a little part in some of the hatred, some of the anti-Semitism, that they want to see the Jewish people that they learned about in the Torah. They want to see the greatness of the Jewish people. And when we're not living up to that, I think that's a little bit of the disappointment and hatred. And I think deep down, they want us to do our job. They want us to follow the Torah, learn the Torah thoroughly, do the mitzvos, draw ourselves closer to Hashem, and then we can draw the whole world closer to this infinite being. And then we can really have that world peace that everyone talks about. But this is it. This is the blueprint. This is the design of the infinite being that's created it all. And this is the playbook. And this is how we can get to that goal. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. And Bezrat Hashem, maybe we'll get to do the mitzvah of Bikurim sooner than we think. And I hope to see you all back again soon on Sweet and Good Torah.